You're listening to the Corbett Report.
So, would you like me to get into the first question? Is that okay?
Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, so this is a topic that interests me very much. I think it has a lot to do with why we are in this mess we are in today. And so the first question is, what is social engineering?
Well, I guess the simple answer to that would be to say that social engineering is the process or the technique by which the social engineers can engineer society to respond to certain stimulus in predictable ways. And what I mean by that, perhaps the best way to get a handle on that definition is to turn to a definition of the word propaganda that was put out by Edward Bernays in 1928. In fact, he had an entire treatise in 1928 on the word propaganda. And for people who don't know, Edward Bernays was one of the pioneers of the public relations industry. And in 1928, he wrote this book, Propaganda, which began with a very memorable quote, and one that I think is important for understanding this topic. He said, "The conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses is an important element in democratic society. Those who manipulate this unseen mechanism of society constitute an invisible government, which is the true ruling power of our country." And I think what he is gesturing to at that's a pretty remarkable statement to put in black and white, and perhaps a testament to the fact that even back in the 1920s, the social engineers were confident that the average man or woman wouldn't be reading this. It would only be the sort of social engineering class that would be interested in reading a treatise like this. But I think what he's driving at there is the very important point that what we think of as mind control, although we have these ideas of in science fiction of some sort of, a remote control device where you can basically puppeteer people like they're some sort of robot. Although I think those types of technologies actually are in the pipeline, so to speak. But I think mind control is more fruitfully understood as the conscious and intelligent manipulation of the organized habits and opinions of the masses. And it's so important to understand that, to a large extent, the people who are trying to engineer society really do see us as very little more than automatons, as robots, and that we are just a collection of organized habits and opinions. And if we can be made to basically take on certain habits or opinions that these social engineers want, then we will then start to react in predictable ways. And this has all sorts of political ramifications, but I guess to try to keep this as concise as possible, social engineering is the process by which those organized habits and opinions are inculcated in a population.